Congratulations. Are you gonna get a free annual pass for what? Really? That's awesome. How many years? 43.
I'd like to call to order the Sheboygan County Board of Supervisors meeting for Tuesday, July 18, 2023. Are we in certification of compliance with open meeting?
We are. The agenda is posted on the 14th of July at 12:30 p.m.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Next item, this is roll call.
Do we have any supervisors via Zoom? We have 22 supervisors present.
This is the approval of the June 20, 2023 journal. Supervisor Bauer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd make a motion for approval.
Thank you, Supervisor Bauer. Supervisor Clark.
Thank you. Second the motion.
Thank you, Supervisor Clark. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
That motion is unanimously.
Next is consideration of appointments by County Administrator.
Aging Disability Advisory Committee reappointments Carol Donthier and Carol Doran. Emergency Mental Service Council, Michael Meeson.
Supervisor Gehring. Thank you, Supervisor Gehring. Supervisor Bauer.
I will second that motion.
Thank you, Supervisor Bauer. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, please vote.
That motion is unanimously.
Is there a presentation?
Greg Schnell, Transportation Director, overview of the Sheboygan County Memorial Airport.
Good evening. I think for the last time. I think. That's different presentation. I've been in Sheboygan County for 16 years now, been 16 years. I've been fortunate enough to be part of a lot of initiatives at this board. It's been the transportation improvement makes a better transportation system by providing a sustainable revenue stream for roads and bridges. Also started the consolidation of many highway sheds, bringing us down to 4, putting 3 back on the tackle in their communities. It also supported jurisdiction change and us working with 6 different municipalities to change the LS to Diane Drive and do the swap before it fell into issue. So thank you for that. And we succeeded in that because the road had been gone today in that location. A little bit of a story about when I started in October of 2006. The first week I was here, I did a little sitting around to check out where the crews and to get introduced and see what's all going on. And I was down going past the airport where Burroughs Aviation currently it's today. And I noticed some of our equipment was parked off-sided or well outside the right. Well, our world's no, we're hiding, working off right away. So as I approached our crew, I talked to the guys, and they said, well, this was all part of our project. Our project being an extension of a runway. That was a vision. We had to move a county highway to extend runway in order to facilitate growth at our airport. That's vision. That vision continued on to encourage tourism in our community. We have a tremendous amount of great teachers to be here. We lay on one side all the way to Kettle on the other side. That brings people all over the place. I had the opportunity to work during Ryder Cup along with the rest of my staff to help individuals off of aircraft and help people with directions and move people onto the FBO with different vehicles, drive golf carts, to know a lot of people and used our terminaling to operate function of that FBO and park aircraft on our ramp and use that as the central location and hit that very well. Our airport's important to our economy. Back in 2018, the Rover Index had a report on what the economic impact is of that airport to our community. $26 million in labor and relate things along with such lodging and restaurants and you name it, anything that goes into the airport. This weekend, you have the opportunity to hear T-20s flying out and doing practice. It's well to see that. The public's interested in that. The public's interested in our airport. And there's 6,000 people, and ask them 6,000 people show up from these schools to do the ground by us and help participate and help a nonprofit go with a center. That's a fabulous amenity for people to go, even though they may not have the ability to afford an aircraft or a team. That just to be up close and see that kind of activity is awesome for people to see and be a part of. We built an observation deck when we put in the systems facility so that people come out anytime and see what's happening on the roads. There was 80 aircraft parked on the ramp during the Cup. As we were meeting people along, I was looking up at the observation. There were several hundred people up watching to see if there was any people like John Hardman, his jet pull up, or Mike Jackson, his jet park. The $60 million jets pull up on our ramp and be a part of our community is another awesome. So it's there, the everyday people as well. It's not just for the people that have corporations or private hangs. People can come out and view and take a look. There's also an uptick in other opportunities. Mac calls daily about if there are hangars available to rent. Is there locations to build on? That's from all hangs as well as hangs. We have different business that will contact us. Can we handle larger aircraft, things that are here? So as you're thinking like that, it's important to keep up with our infrastructure out there and continue the investments that have been occurring since 1996, since we owned that piece of property out at the grounds off of Reese Drive. To date, for the past 20 years, Sheboygan County has supported $36 million of investments in airports, which is fencing, runway extensions, I talked about earlier, buying mitigation banks so that they continue to work into our regulations. We do expansions, do digging, and all things that are related to wetland impacts. So we need to keep up that investment. And sometimes the opportunity has to look at generating other revenue or outside revenue. In the 34 years that I've been a part of public service, I can't tell you how many times I've heard people, government needs to run like a business. I can agree more. As business, they look for ways to diversify revenue streams, to invest back and support the investment in companies or businesses in their community. That's what we need to do. Also, resolution for fortnight provides us due diligence and the ability to do our due diligence, look for ways in order to continue to support our operations for several generations in the future. It's an important thing. It's one of those things that I've been involved with for a long time now. Ever since the retirement of Chuck Mayer, our previous airport manager, I was consolidating. These conversations happened back then, and passing different things. This would be a good investment for the county at some point, and it's believe that in my heart. I'm going to be a part of seeing next step of it, but I know that there's staff here that will be able to do that. They are going to be able to bring home what's to happen. I'm going to end that. I appreciate your time and attention. I also appreciate the 16 years that you allowed me to serve citizens.
Right, next public addresses.
I have one, Brian Dowden of Sheboygan County Economic Development Corporation, discussing their report.
I personally want to say thanks to Greg. I've been 2.5 years. He's been very asked to the SEC and his support. So, and boy, I don't expect standing over when I walk off. So good evening. My name is Brian Dowden, the Executive Director of the Sheboygan County Economic Development Corporation. I live in Plymouth, Wisconsin. As you likely know, our corporation is a public-private partnership that seeks to foster collaboration between both sectors to advance the economy of the county. My board includes 30 leaders from government and the private sector, all of them from throughout the county. In order to advance the economy of Sheboygan County, we strive to remove perceived and real barriers for economic growth. This means our corporation works on a variety of topics to support local residents, communities, and businesses. Some recent examples just show you diversity. Last year, we wrote four training grants for local companies receiving $1 million in training dollars. That's 18% of all state dollars in training awarded locally. We're building tree-level homes thanks to Sheboygan County, Madisonville, Kohler, Master Gallery, and Sargento. Drive Founders Point, 54 homes we built a subdivision to Quick Trip in Sheboygan Falls. With the progress, you see 4 homes up now. And just last night, the Village of Ram Lake approved hiring a well-known engineering firm out of Milwaukee to develop their master plan, space analysis, and creation of a community streetscape identity plan. This siting effort for Random Lake is entirely funded by the private sector through our foundation. So we look at solutions. So as you can see, we focus on collaboration and partnership between public and private sector, seeking to achieve amazing and sustainable results. Our goal is to make Sheboygan County a leader in every category possible. I guess a passion. In getting expecting excellence, this is how we can best serve our local communities, businesses, and ultimately residents of Sheboygan County. At local corporations, many are with national and global locations, may use, should rely on FBO services at the airport. Vacant land at the airport, county being a foreign trade zone, and having a custom facility without commercial service, those are unique offerings that we have to maximize for economic development perspective. The airport also critical to tourism and benefits. That benefit is experienced firsthand by several internationally recognized nations and second by the hospitality industry, and quite the local municipalities because of the sales tax. 1 year ago, our corporation supported the county going into the IEO business. Our support is still strong, and we're confident that the county will serve customers well and can only be responsive to service needs that will improve the image of the regional airport for business and leisure travel. The SCD views the county operating the FBO as another tool in growing a regional economy. Making this critical investment, the county will be bringing unknown opportunities to the marketplace. Therefore, we support the resolution before this evening. In closing, I just want to say thank you and all your time and service as elected officials. Thank you.
One letter from E. Smith, owner of Rose Aviation LLC. It reads, the county and I have reached an agreement to permit us to move to the next step, completing the transaction which would transfer the Rose Aviation operating assets to the county in January next year. The terms of the intended sale, as preliminarily approved by 2 of the board's committees, are fair for both parties. The conclusion of the transaction assures long-term vision excellent FBO services at the Sheboygan County Airport. This is essential to the continued and growing relevance of the Sheboygan County Airport and importance to the county as a whole. I look forward to working with the county on concluding this transaction and a smooth transition of this critical service. This was supported by their attorney, Joseph Frandoy. That is all that I have.
Okay, we'll receive that for Maine. County Administrator's Report.
Sure, could you please slide, please? Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I want to start my report tonight recognizing a couple of guests that we have in the audience. Tonight, we are joined by Troop 880 out of Cascade. We have with us in the back Logan Christie, Jackson Christie, Hayden Zernsky, and Christie, who's a employee in our Building Services Department. And they are here tonight working towards their citizenship, the community merit badge. And one of the requirements that is to attend a local government meeting. And so they are here tonight to witness the county board in action. So I just wanted to welcome the troops in the back, and we're glad to join us. And feel free to come back anytime, and if it's not for a badge. Next up, I will be talking about 3 items that are on the agenda this evening. So first is resolution number 3 regarding the intergovernmental agreements and the sales tax revenue sharing with the municipalities. This is the 8th year of the program. To date, we have distributed $11.3 million to our local municipalities for transportation needs. Next year, we are distributing $2,156,072. That will be an increase for last year, $158,000, about 7.4%. At this point, I don't know the individual makeup of those distributions because they are based on equals value, and those numbers come out in August. So we know total that we'll be distributing, which is based on the performance revenue from this tax. However, the distribution to municipality will be determined in August when the equalized value rates are available. So in our packs this evening and up for vote is the standard agreement that we have municipalities sign every year. So status quo on the agreements, no change there. Just wanted to provide a quick date on the financial side of it. Next, I'm just looking at the from our Deputy Finance Director, who also is willing to discuss. Next, I'll be talking about resolution number 4, which is regarding the purchase asset from Borough Aviation. I want to start by thanking Greg Nell for his presentation and also for his years of service, but I don't want to say anything else out here of being teary up here, so thank you, Greg. Just a quick background, Greg did a nice job of touching on this, so I won't go into great detail, but as he mentioned, the port has been in existence for 6 years, and over the last 20 years, there's $36 million in instruments in the facility. And Greg touched on a couple of those examples. Again, I won't get to great detail, but just want to kind of lay the groundwork for the investments we've made in the facility in the past. If you had a chance to read the Wisconsin Police Association meeting that came out for the month of July, ironically enough, the main topic was about general aviation airports in the state of Wisconsin. And if you had a chance to read the article, it touched on a number of different facets and impact on a community that airport can have. Some of what Greg also talked about include tourism, business development, as Brian mentioned, our local hobbyists and community events that host the facility. In addition, the annual economic output is estimated on $26 million. That's very conservative. Those are from 2018, so I imagine the number is much higher now. We have strong collaboration at the airport with a number of different entities, all the way from the federal down to the very local level. So here are a few listed. This list certainly is inclusive, but of course have a relationship with the Customs Border Protection, with the new facility, the FAA, the BOA, emergency responders, the private tenants, local businesses, the museum volunteers, and the airport advisory committee. The level of impact, that level of impact and engagement doesn't happen overnight. We've been working these relationships for years and value the relationship that we have with these entities and their expectation, quality, and professionalism from the facility. The contemplated purchase of the assets from Burroughs Aviation is another example of a strategic investment that the county could make. And this is a list of some other investments that we've made in the past with significant dollar amounts, but we do these in order to better our community and provide benefits to the community and better operations. So these different examples over the years are unique, but one thing they have in common with the contemplated action tonight is a significant purchase, knowing that we're strategic investments for the county. The purchase of Burroughs Aviation asset would be a wise investment for the county. And based on the two appraisals, we feel that it is a fair purchase price, which is currently contemplated in the letter of intent. To remind everyone, the reason that we set on this and what we've been working toward for years, the 5 key components of the vision of the proposal. First and foremost, provide quality, service, and professionalism. Second is to provide fair and reasonable fuel prices so that when people are flying to the area, they come to Sheboygan County to fuel up and don't go to neighboring airport, fuel up, and then back to put their aircraft in Sheboygan. Third, to eliminate the reliance on property tax levy. Currently, the port relies on approximately $230,000 of tax levy on an annual basis. The fourth component is enhancing transparency. And the fifth component would be to reinvest the profits back into the port and further enhance the facility so that it can continue to bring those new businesses and spur economic development and other things that Brian touched on. It's the expectation of our departments that they are improving their service delivery and positioning the county for fiscal stability in years to come. And I want to thank the members of the transportation department that are working on the proposal because they're doing just that, what is expected of our department. So kudos to them for seeing this as an opportunity and all of the time and effort they've put into these proposals, and want to thank you for your effort. We are seeking your support to make this vision as laid out in front of you a reality. Approving resolution tonight will allow for negotiation of the definitive agreement with Burroughs Aviation, and following definitive agreement would allow for further inspections and due diligence to follow. We anticipate a cooperative transaction with Burroughs and are looking forward to the next steps of the proposal. And last but not least, I'm going to talk about resolution number 2 in your pack, and this is related to use of American Rescue Plan Act dollars. The requests that are laid out in the resolution before you are for one-time expenses. In some of the instances, these were projects that were previously included in our 5-year capital plan, and we are opposed to use ARPA dollars for those expenditures in order to stay within our self-imposed bonding limits, and at the same time continue to maintain our facilities and equipment in a responsible manner. There is one amendment that is redlined in the resolution in packet, and that was added at the last Finance Committee meeting. Ironically, is to support the equipment in the very room that we're in this evening. You may recall in a few meetings this year, we've had technical difficulties with microphones, and though the amendment to the resolution is to upgrade the audio system in this room. So I want to call your attention to the line version, which is different than the version that I introduced last month. That concludes my remarks this evening.
Consideration of committee reports, Executive Committee Resolution number 3.
Regarding approving standard government agreement for 2024 sales tax revenue sharing, recommendation to adopt.
Supervisor Gehring.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am for adoption.
Thank you, Supervisor Gehring. Supervisor Bauer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will send in.
Thank you, Supervisor Brower. Is there any discussion? See no discussion, please vote.
Resolutions passed unanimously.
Resolution number 4.
Regarding approving purchase asset from Burroughs Aviation LLC to provide base operator services at Sheboygan County Memorial Airport, recommendation to adopt.
Supervisor Wagner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would move for passage of resolution number 4.
Thank you, Supervisor Wagner. Supervisor Testroy.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Supervisor Testroy. No. Now under discussion. Oh. Supervisor Henry Nelson.
Thank you, Chairman. Just like a few comments about the airport. You may or may not know that I'm a shuttle bus driver at a coal company. And part of the jobs that we do is go out and pick up people at the airport and deliver them. And I never realized how many people use the airport for transportation to come in and golf. Sometimes stay a couple days, sometimes they come in the morning and leave at night. But at any rate, it's quite an asset to the core America Club that we have this ability to do that. So I just want to let you know that from a personal point of view, because you might not all get out there and see what's going on, but I do, and I think it's important.
Thank you, Supervisor Nelson. The IT director informed me to remind everyone here to make sure you talk directly into the microphone. And my fault didn't. And if you notice, we still have problems with microphone and actually turned off a little later on its own. So, was why for later resolution. Anyway. Supervisor Hoff.
Not to length, hopefully I'll do just share a comment about the subject. I think I mentioned a month ago that personally I think we in this, I'll call it a pickle, sending a large amount of money if contract we had with Bros who had a clause in it. Apparently it did not requiring an annual performance review by the FBO that would displeased with. Because that would remove us from, it would have given them a responsibility and out for us to excuse them if they're not performing. Apparently it doesn't exist. So here we are. It is what it is. I don't want anyone to misunderstand how I feel at the airport. I hold in high regard. I used it when I went my employment. I've flown out of the Sheboygan County Airport, my job, with groups of people 3 years. So I also attend things at the airport often. It's admirable, very nice. I personally care a lot about the subject. I have met with airport staff individually in the last 16 months just to learn about the subject. And I learned the FBO definitely is improved and is underperforming. So no one in the room should understand how I feel about this. I feel I'm in favor of doing something that improves our FBO. What was that? I thought you were shutting me down. Okay. In my job, this is irrelevant in a way. I worked 3.5 years and I'll say at least almost 4 years. My job's to suppliers provide things. It was very synonymous with FBO being a supplier of the company. They're not giving us service. And when I rated companies, hundreds of them during my years, and we rated them formally, not just lip service. We rate 4 criteria: quality, delivery, service, and price. Those are everything we all buy personally and we're buying from the FBO. What FBO now lacks, some of it is subjective. It's not quantitative. It's really hard to get arms around the numeric values of what they are. Just like I couldn't. They become objective. Things like the service that you give. You can't quantify that. It's subjective. So that all of us in the room, we can't put our arms around numbers. However, as of now tonight, I'm voting no on this. Oh, I want to say, please don't understand. I'm in favor of improvement for the FBO. Just that very few citizens in the county use the airport. That's not a disrespect of the airport. I love the airport. I just explained in high regard. It's very important to our county. But most of the citizens, if they hear that we spent $1 million minimum and maybe more, fix something at the airport, my slang language, I think, going to freak out about why is this happening? Never should happen. Really never should have happened. So I'm going to note that only because I have seen, I'd like to see some kind of quantitative, numeric, financial payback information on this. In other words, I say payback, and I'll say this, in the companies that we're worth, large corporations, there is no way that I would have been able to spend that amount of money if I would have given some kind of payback, quantitative payback information. They would have never, and to this day, the company is going to ever approve something unless they see some decent payback. In other words, I'm going to spend $1 million. What's payback going to be financially? I've not seen that for this. I'm not being negative about improving the report, FBO, not at all. I've already clarified myself on it. It's just I've not seen any kind of financial payback information. So far, I want to conclude now. I misunderstand all for approving FBO. I'm at your side. I personally have gone up there and met with staff. I care about this. Tonight, I'm going to vote no because I just don't have enough information to give our citizenry. My 2,100 homes, hard-working people that are going to freak out if see that in the front of the Sheboygan Press, we spent $6 million or more dollars. So tonight, I have voted no. But hopefully, I'll get more information then moving forward. If this does get voted down, which it may not tonight, but I want people to know how I feel, why I'm voting no. And thank you, Chairman, for the opportunity to speak.
Thanks, Supervisor Nunn. Supervisor Jensen.
Thank you. I won't repeat all of what Supervisor Nunoff said, although I agree with very much of what he said. I'm a big supporter of the airport. I think it's an asset that I want to keep building, and all those good things we're spoken of earlier today are all the way I feel at the airport. However, I have problems with the process how we're going through this. We are seeing here, a year ago, approved a $3.2 million proposal that financial information and protection for the future. Today, we're being asked to approve a $6 million expenditure was different. Now buying something completely different. That the previous proposal was going to have us building a hangar and a fuel farm, and I don't know where pieces are in there, and operate for the first year. Now we're buying the assets, the existing buildings, different things like that. And I don't think most of you in this room have seen the purchase contract. It's only 4 pages long, but it wasn't important enough to let you see that. Now, where I've gone with this, I've been to a couple of meetings along the way, and I've visited the airport, the whole thing. But where I'm at, I had asked to see, before we take the next step, see a projection of what the operations will do the first year, and then the second or going years, whatever. The year's always an odd year in a product like that. So that And also to see what the future capital requirements would be. In other words, a 5-year capital plan, which we just looked at last month in our leadership forum, and it showed that the airport for buildings was going to have $4 million spent, maybe $1.25 million that was going to reimburse some. We had any discussion on that? That's impacted by this. And I think where I'm coming from is we should be approving the execution of the letter to go forward and to allow our staff to do the investigations, due diligence, the way a normal company would do them in order. And then we would make the final decision to purchase the contract. I think it might well be that the way I would feel about it, that hands me those things. So that's the only reason I'm being known at this point in time. I want to vote yes. I cannot. And I've requested things. They have not been provided, and that's my position.
Thank you, Supervisor Jorgensen. The Corporation Council would like to.
All right, I just want to make a quick clarification. So Supervisor Jorgensen mentioned that the agreement's only 4 pages long. We don't have an agreement at this point. The county board is a policy maker, and so you have in front of you is a letter of intent. That's the piece that gets us to the agreement. Before we get there, we make sure you're on board inception with purchase price and closing. Once you approve this resolution, the agreement will come next. So we then have an agreement for the asset purchase. That'll be about 15, 20 pages long. We also have an agreement for the commercial real estate pieces. Those hangars we're talking about, that'll be another 20 pages. So at this point, don't have those agreements to provide to you. Staff is coming to you as a policymaker and getting support conceptually for directing all of these very detailed agreements. The way the resolution is set up, if the county board approves tonight, move on to that next step. Staff begin negotiating agreements that will then be subject to Transportation Committee approval. So just make that clarification that that letter of intent is something different in these future agreements.
Supervisor Spence.
Thank you, Chairman. I wasn't planning on saying any tonight, but I changed my mind, and I also wanted to extend my vote a little bit to similar to what I said last year. I certainly think the situation at the airport with FBO certainly needs improved and it's to be changed. I'm not convinced that county spending that much money is going to be much payback for our citizens. And I also like to get a little feedback from different constituents, see how they didn't get anybody that spoke with me that they thought was a good idea. And I appreciate airport. I think it's a good service. Like I said, I'm just not convinced this is the best of our experience. So thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Spence. Supervisor Jorgensen.
Just a comment follow up on what Rachel said. What says is completely accurate, but you have to remember what it says is that this body will never get a chance to view this again or make a decision on it again. We do not get to look at what it turned out to be. We just get to look at it now. And some committee will make a decision on that. So we're going to sit again. We're going to spend $6 million, whatever else it takes in the future, out seeing the definitive agreement, which should the next, they're doing a job. I don't have any problem with the process of the attorney and negotiation, but just make that clear.
Thank you, Supervisor Jorgensen. Supervisor Wagner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just add as Chair of the Transportation Committee, we worked very hard on this for the last year, really longer than that actually for some of us. I think it's up for Sheboygan County and our airport. View this as an investment. Obviously, it's an expenditure also, both for now and in the future. And it's a good commitment. And there's a lot of economic development can cover this. So just want to mention that. Thank you.
Thanks, Supervisor Wagner. Supervisor Bauer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just point out clarification of items stated. I think in the presentation by the administrator stated that 2017, the economic impact was $26 million to the county of Sheboygan County. I feel that addressed a lot of economic impact to people that may not use the airport. Whether you use the airport or not, my opinion is not specific to you reading the values that the airport has for Sheboygan County. Additionally, that resolution 4 is the additional $3.2 million, not over 6, which is the tentative agreement of with Burroughs Aviation. The other thing to want to make known is that this is not tax levy. This is unassigned, strict fund that county is using for the lieu of purchase of that facility. It is not a direct impact of tax levy to the residents of Sheboygan County.
Thank you, Supervisor Brower. Seeing no more light, please vote.
This is approved. 17 yes or no on abstention.
Consideration Committee Reports, Finance Committee, Resolution Number 2.
Regarding approving American Rescue Plan Act funds, number 7, committee recommendation to adopt as amended with the red line version.
Supervisor Brower.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move for adoption.
Supervisor Brower. Supervisor Garrett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I second motion.
Thank you, Supervisor Garrett. Under discussion. Supervisor Sells.
Thank you, Coach. I said this before in regard to the ARPAN. I will vote no. I vote on the ARPAN, so there should be any surprise to anybody. But, and again, I say that I'm not stating that certain departments such as the detention center don't have any need. I see that they have a lot of needs. I just don't agree with spending more money on that. So that's my explanation for vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Wells. Seeing no further, let's please vote.
Motion 17 yes, 3 no. Sorry, 15.
And with that, we will go to resolution introduced, resolution number 5.
Finance Committee authorizing application for fiscal year 2023 Justice Assistance Grant and entering into a memorandum of understanding with the City of Sheboygan.
We will send resolution number 5 to the Law Committee, resolution number 6.
Transportation Committee regarding grant easement to Wisconsin Public Service, County Memorial Airport.
We will send resolution number 6 to the Executive Committee, ordinances introduced, ordinance number 4.
Transportation is all permitting booking on portion of County Road DE in the town of Sheboygan.
And ordinance number 4 will go to the Law Committee. Supervisor Strode.
Mr. Chairman, I move to adjourn.
Thank you, Supervisor Strode. Supervisor Brower.
Mr. Chair, I'll second motion.
Thank you, Supervisor Brower. With that, please vote. We are adjourned.